Chapter it talks about your self-image, how what you talk to yourself determines your success, your goals, how you act with people, and everything, and every activity that you do is one way or the other directly dependent on how you view yourself. It might be from your surroundings, your environment, how you grew up, what you say to yourself, and how any childhood trauma, those things. And that is what he talks about in the first chapter, self image. And second chapter talks about self image. How how your self image determines your success or failure. Yeah, so how you view yourself. If you see yourself as a champion internally, you have to feel yourself as a champion, then you are a champion. If you feel, no man, this is not me, I think I can be a bit more, I'm not good enough. So if you say to yourself such things, then definitely that is how you would react to the world, like that you are not good enough. If you say to yourself that you're a champion, you have to believe, not say, you have to, if you believe that you're a champion, you would portray yourself as a champion to the world. That is the first chapter. In the second chapter, he talks about your built-in guidance system. See, so different creatures have different goals. Basically, the ultimate goal of every creature is to live, right? And to live for normal creatures like other than human beings is to have food, have normal shelter, you procreation, all the basic necessities. But for human beings, it is completely different. He tries to get answers to the problems. He invent new things, write poetry. He wants to run a business. He wants to sell merchandise, explore new horizons in science, attain more peace of mind, develop a better personality. So these are everything that differentiates human beings from other creatures. And next, he talks about success instinct. See, he says a squirrel does not have to be taught how to gather nuts, nor does it need to learn that it should store them for winter. A squirrel born in the spring has never experienced winter. Yet in the fall of that year, it can be observed busily storing nuts to be eaten during the winter months when there will be no food to be gathered. A bird does not need to take lessons in nest building, nor does it need to take courses in navigation. Yet birds do navigate thousands of miles, sometimes over open sea. They have no newspapers or TV to give them weather reports, no books written by explorer or pioneer birds to map out for them the warm areas of the earth. Nonetheless, the bird knows when cold weather is imminent and the exact location of a warm climate, even though it may be thousands of miles away. In attempting to explain such things, we usually say that animals have certain instincts that guide them. Analyze all such instincts, and you will find they assist the animal to successfully cope with its environment. In short, animals have a success instinct. We often overlook the fact that man too has a success instinct, much more marvelous and much more complex than that of any animal. Our Creator did not shortchange man. On the other hand, man was especially blessed in this regard. Animals cannot select their goals. Their goals, which is self-preservation and procreation, are preset, so to speak, and their success mechanism is limited to these built-in goal images, which we call instincts. Man, on the other hand, has something animals don't, which is creative imagination. Thus, man of all creatures is more than a creature, he is also a creator. With his imagination, he can formulate a variety of goals. Man alone can direct his success mechanism by the use of imagination or imaging ability. We often think of creative imagination as applying only to poets, inventors, and the like. But imagination is creative in everything we do. Although they do not understand why or how, imagination sets our creative mechanism into action. Serious thinkers of all ages, as well as hard headed practical men, have recognized the fact and made use of it. Imagination rules the world, said Napoleon Bonaparte. And Glenn Clark, author of Man Who Tapped the Secrets of the Universe, said, imagination of all man's faculties is the most godlike. Dugald, the famous Scottish philosopher, also observed the faculty of imagination is the great spring of human activity and the principal source of human improvement. Destroy this faculty, and the condition of man will become as stationary as that of the Brutus. Henry, the industrialist considered the father of American shipbuilding, attributed much of his success in business to the constructive, positive use of creative imagination with these words: you can imagine your future. How your success mechanism works. You are not a machine, but discoveries in the science of cybernetics all point to the conclusion that your physical brain and nervous system make up a servo mechanism that you use and that operates very much like a computer and a mechanical goal seeking device. Your brain and nervous system constitute a goal striving mechanism that operates automatically to achieve a certain goal, very much as a self aiming torpedo or missile seeks out its target and steers its way to it. Your built in servo mechanism functions both as a guidance system to automatically steer you in the right direction to achieve certain goals or make correct responses to your environment, and also as an electronic brain which can function automatically to solve problems, give you needed answers, and provide new ideas or inspirations. So in this book, The Computer and the Brain, Dr. John says that human brain possess the attributes of both the analog and digital computer. The word cybernetics come from Greek word which literally means the steerman. Servo mechanisms are so constructed that they automatically steer their way to a goal, target, or an answer. So, Psycho Cybernetics, a new concept of how your brain works. When we conceive of the human brain and nervous system as a form of servo mechanism operating in accordance with cybernetic principles, we gain a new insight into the why and wherefore of human behavior. I choose to call this concept Psycho Cybernetics, the principles of cybernetics as applied to the human brain. I must repeat, Psycho Cybernetics does not say that man is a machine, rather, it says that man has a machine that he uses. Let us examine some of the similarities between mechanical servo mechanisms and the human brain. The two general types of servo mechanisms are divided into two types, where the target, goal, or the answer is known and the objective is to reach it or accomplish it, and where the target or answer is not known and the objective is to discover or locate it. The human brain and nervous system operate in both ways. An example of the first type is the guided torpedo or the interceptor missile. The target or goal is known, the objective is to reach it. Such machines must know the target they are shooting for. They must have some sort of propulsion system that propels them forward in the general direction of the target. They must be equipped with sense organs which bring information from the target. These sense organs keep the machine informed when it is on the correct course and when it commits an error or gets off course. The machine does not react or respond to positive feedback. It is doing correct thing already and just keeps on doing what it is doing. There must be a corrective device, however, that will respond to negative feedback. When negative feedback informs the mechanism that of the beam too far to the right, the corrective mechanism automatically causes the rudder to move so that it will steer the machine back to the left. If it overcorrects and heads too far to the left, this mistake is made known through negative feedback and the corrective device moves the rudder so it will steer the machine back to the right. Crazy. Tell me what you understand. This is interview, Mahesh. I'm giving you practice. Explain me what you understand in couple of minutes.
about
All about
brain
Allah.
and
You have to give proper 2 minutes answer. This is interview. GD. This is.
you give a deeper perspective of human brain and its psychology and a good comparison to how it is a machine in itself that people often fail to recognize.
More.
Uh,
Crazy.
it was, I heard a new word, cyberpsychomatic.
Psycho Cybernetics.
Mm. And also you gave a good comparison of animals' way of thinking to that of a human brain.
Hmm. Yeah.
ಏನ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
It is still the starting stage. He's taking you step by step. See, first he made you understand what is a brain. Now he is trying to make you understand the different types of brain. Like animals have different brain and humans have different brain. See, animals have natural instincts, as I already quoted like in the book. Birds, they have no navigation, no GPS, no books, nothing, but still they cross miles to a warmer place, that too in an open sea, sometimes in an open sea. See, these are the things that drive animals towards their goals, towards their success. Does it mean animals have a special gift that humans don't? Definitely not, is what the author is saying. He is saying a man is a much more blessed person and he has much more instincts to achieve his goal. He has a creative mind, and he keeps on saying, yeah. So he's trying to bring in a distinction between an animal brain and a human brain, and then how human brain is much more superior, and it already has an automatic mechanism to achieve its goals, drive results, and achieve success. Mm. And then next is how your brain finds answers to problems. He says, now let us suppose that a room is dark so that you cannot see the pen. You know or hope there is a pen on the table along with a variety of other objects. Instinctively, your hand will begin to grope back and forth, performing zigzag motions, rejecting one object after the another until the pen is found and recognized. This is an example of second type of servo mechanism. Recalling a name temporarily forgotten is another example. A scanner in your brain scans through stored memories until the correct name is recognized. A computer stores problems in the same way. First of all, a great deal of data must be fed into the machine. This stored information is the machine's memory. A problem is posed to the machine. It scans back through its memory until it locates the only answer that is consistent with and meets all the conditions of the problem. Problem and answer together constitutes a whole situation or a structure. When part of the situation or structure is given to the machine, it locates the only missing parts or the right size brick, so to speak, to complete the structure. The more that is learned about the human brain, the more closely it resembles, insofar as function is concerned, a servo mechanism. For Neurological Institute reported at a meeting of the National Academy of Sciences that he had discovered a recording mechanism in a small area of the brain that is apparently faithfully records everything that a person has experienced, observed, or learned. During a brain operation in which a patient was fully awake, Penfield happened to touch a small area of the cortex with a surgical instrument. At once, the patient exclaimed that she was reliving an incident from her childhood, which she had consciously forgotten. Further experiments along this line brought the same results. When certain areas of the cortex were touched, patients did not merely remember past experiences, they relived them, experiencing as very real all the sights, sounds, sensations of the original experience. It was just as if past experiences had been recorded on a tape recorder and played back. It is still of mystery how a mechanism as small as a human brain can store such a vast amount of information. See, in this para, he is comparing the first type of servo mechanism and the second type of servo mechanism, and he gives an example where there is a table, the room is dark, and then you know that there is a pen, but you're not able to see. What do? You try to search among the objects to find your pen. You grope your hand forward, backward in zigzag motions to gain that pen. So this is what is the objective of this? And so yeah, so this is one type of servo mechanism, like recalling a person's name when the name is temporarily forgotten. So a scanner in the brain starts to look through all the stored memories to get the correct name. And the author also explains a situation where the patient happened to relive the past experiences, forgotten, consciously forgotten, or whatever forgotten incidents when a surgical instrument by a doctor happened to touch the cortex. So what he says is, this is such a small instrument, such a small machine that happens to store every single thing that you have experienced from your childhood, every single thing that you have heard, seen, smelled, tasted, everything is stored in this small portion of your brain, small portion of your body. And yeah. A look at the automatic mechanism in action. We marvel at the awesomeness of the interceptor missiles that can compute in a flash the point of interception of another missile and be there at precisely the correct instant to make contact. Yet we are not witnessing something just as wonderful each time we see a center field catch a fly ball in order to compute where the ball will fall or where the point of perception. Science can build the computer but not the operator. Is there an infinite storehouse of ideas, knowledge, and power? Hmm? G. Is there an infinite storehouse of ideas, knowledge, and power?
Store. Yes.
Crazy. So you mean to say that there is an infinite storehouse of ideas, knowledge, and power? Why? How so? Many great thinkers of all ages have believed that man's stored information is not limited to his own memories of past experiences and learned facts. There is one mind common to all individual men, who compared all individual minds to the inlets in an ocean of universal mind. Edison believed that he got some of his ideas from a source outside himself. Once, when complimented for a creative idea, he disclaimed credit, saying that ideas are in the air and if he had not discovered it, someone else would have. ठीक है. The next is the answer exists now. In the much same way, when we set out to find a new idea or the answer to a problem, we must assume that answer already exists. Crazy. Uh-huh. Psycho Cybernetics. ಏನ್ ತಿಂದೆ ಊಟ? ಊಟ ಏನು ತಿಂದೆ?
ಚಪಾತಿ.
ಚಪಾತಿ. ದೋಸೆ.
ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಿದ್ದೆ.
ನಾನು ಸೈಲೆಂಟಾಗಿರ್ಲಿರ್ತಿದ್ದೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆದ್ರೂ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ನೀನು ಕರಿತಾನೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಡೌ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಸಂಜೆ ಏನೋ ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಟೈರ್ಡು.
ಯಾವತ್ತು ಕರ್ತಿದ್ದೆ?
ಕರ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ವಡಾಪಾವ್ ನಾನು ಕರೆದೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ತಿಕೇಯನೋ ಕರೆದ, ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ.
ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಎಂತ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲ, ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲ.
ಹೋಗೋಣ ಈಗ.
ಆವಾಗ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ನೀನು. ಫುಲ್ ಡಯಟಾ ನೀನು? ಅದೇನೋ ತಿಂತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಕ್ರೇಜಿ.
ಒಂದಿನೂ ತಿಂತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ?
See, he is giving you a mental exercise. He is giving you a exercise, practice exercise. Get a new mental picture of yourself. The unhappy failure type personality cannot develop a new self-image by pure willpower or by arbitrarily deciding to. There must be some ground, some justification, some reason for deciding that the old picture of the self is in error and the new picture is appropriate. You cannot merely imagine a new self-image unless you feel that is based on truth. Experience has shown that when a person does change his self-image, the truth he has feeling that for one reason or the another he sees or realizes the truth about himself. The truth in this chapter can set you free of an old, inadequate, self-image. If you read it often, think intently about the implications and hammer home its truth to yourself. Okay. Science has now confirmed what philosophers, mystics, and other intuitive people have long declared: every human being has been literally engineered for success. This means you, as Emerson said, there are no great and no small. If you were engineered for success and happiness, then the old picture of yourself as unworthy of happiness, a person who was meant to fail, must be in error. Read this chapter through at least 3 times per week for the next 21 days. Study it and digest it. Look for examples in your experiences and the experiences of your friends that illustrate the creative mechanism in action. Memorize the following basic principles by which your success mechanism operates. You do not need to be an electronic engineer or a physicist to operate your own servo mechanism, any more than you have to be able to engineer an automobile in order to drive one or become an electrical engineer in order to turn on the light in your room. You do need to be familiar with the following concepts, however, because when you have memorized them, they will throw new light on what is to follow. ಮೆಮೊರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ, ನಾಳೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಲ್ಲಿ ಬೈಯಾಟ್ ಇದು ಕಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾಳೆ. ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಅಂದಾಗ ಮಹೇಶ್ ಸ್ಪಿಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಔಟ್. ಇದು ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ, ಮೆಮೊರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಪಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡು. Your built-in success mechanism must have a goal or target. This goal or target must be conceived of as already in existence now, either in actual or potential form. It operates by either steering you to a goal already in existence, discovering something already in existence. The automatic mechanism is teleological, that is, it operates or must be oriented to end results goals. Do not be discouraged because the means whereby may not be apparent. It is a function of the automatic mechanism to supply the means whereby when you supply the goal, think in terms of the end result, and the means whereby will often take care of themselves. This means the means by which your success mechanism works often take care of themselves and do so effortlessly when you supply the goal to your brain. The precise action steps will come to you without stress, tension, or worry about how you are going to accomplish the result you seek. Many people make the mistake of interfering with the success mechanism by demanding a how before a goal is clearly established. After you've formed a mental image of the goal you seek to create, and how will come to you, not before. Remain calm, relaxed, and the answers will arrive. Any attempt to force the ideas to come will not work. As brain trust said, in all mental workings, effort defeats itself. Do not be afraid of making mistakes or of temporary failures. All servo mechanisms achieve a goal by negative feedback or by going forward, making mistakes, and immediately correcting course. Skill learning of any kind is accomplished by trial and error, mentally correcting aim after an error until a success movement or performance has been achieved. After that, further learning and continued success is accomplished by forgetting the past errors and remembering the successful response so that it can be imitated. You must learn to trust your creative mechanism to do its work and not jam it by becoming too concerned or anxious as to whether it will work or not, or by attempting to force it by too much work. This trust is necessary because your creative mechanism operates below the level of consciousness and you cannot know what is going on beneath the surface. Moreover, its nature is to operate simultaneously according to present need. Therefore, you have no guarantees in advance. It comes into operation as you act and as you place a demand on it by your actions. You must not wait to act until you have proof. You must act as if it is there and it will come through. Do the thing and you will have the power, said Emerson. Crazy. Imagination is your first key to your success mechanism. What? Imagination is the first key to your success mechanism. And braces ಹಾಕ್ಸ್ಬೇಕು ಮಹೇಶ್. ಬ್ರೇಸಸ್.